after a victory at Gfinity. We'll see how this one goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the audience, let's make a little bit of noise. Go on.
No, yeah.
There it is, a little bit. We're going to get you nice and warmed up, don't worry. And it doesn't, I think we are stopping. So all that hype is built, Matt.
See, that's why. They knew more than you did, Henry. Which doesn't say much, but it's true.
All right. Well, we did get a little bit of info before this game went live.
We did, and it's an interesting bit of info as well. Immortals had their dream hacked, and they were woke up to come here because they were sound asleep before this game. In fact, they got here and literally had no warm-up to jump straight into this. So obviously, they flew over from North America. Jet lag perhaps a factor. They played a game already today, and in between, they decided to have a nap that went a little bit too long.
We've all been there.
Some more than others.
You more than others, I would say.
What do you mean? I'm the best dealing with jet lag ever. I'm so
First day of this event, perhaps?
I slept in. I didn't have a nap midday.
Well, we are getting into this one now. It's going to be SK Gaming sat on the CT side and Immortals on the T. As we said, they are absolutely brilliant on this side of the map. We'll see what they can bring to the table here, and we're going to be getting straight into it. It's going to be 3 players towards long A, in fact. So that's going to be for Immortals with the bomb as well. So this is quite a fast approach as well. Cillian gets the first kill, takes down Showtime, but look at this. They're going to be making their way to the side. There's actually no real CT presence to stop them here.
Ooh, nice shots by Henny, though, to start things off. Already showing off his accuracy. Takes down both Modi and Volda, who's been the hot commodity in some aspects. Discount Modi is, well, he's been strong when needed. Bolts takes down Freeze. Glaive falls. It's left to a Cillian 1v3 bomb already planted. Not much he's going to look to do in this. In fact, just trying to hunt out exactly where Henny's gone. Not even anywhere near the bomb. So a good start from the Brazilians. Perhaps some sleep lord them well.
Yeah, seems so. Very fast AXQ coming in there. 3 players going very quickly towards those long hauls, and this is Henny. He's actually holding that lurk position. He's supposed to be coming backstabbed from Connector, but it's the CTs that push into him, and he picks up 2 lovely headshots there with the Glock. Secures the round, and there it is, 1-0 in favor of the Immortals. We go into the second round. We'll see what kind of buy is coming in for the CTs. It's going to be a semi-forced buy. They haven't got Frizz on anything. Obviously, he's the AWPer. They'll be looking to bring that weapon out, but they have got the 5.7s and body armor as well. A couple of flashbangs to help them out, but judging this Hero's buy here, they should have a heavy advantage. They've got 2 rifles. Make it 3, actually. And a UMP and a MAC-10. So Lucas will be holding up, taking a little bit of damage as Lucas gone down to 4 HP, in fact. So he takes a headshot from one of those 5.7s, and we'll see whether Vald, in this boosted position, he's been amazing this tournament so far. An unknown quantity going into this tournament, really has performed. Unfortunately, in this instance, he does get taken down.
Yeah, quite swiftly as well, as they do check that corner. All things considered, smoke out in front of Phelps. He won't be able to walk into this new stairwell position quite so easily, and Modi is going to be playing on it, so CT's going to be trying to take advantage of it early. Doesn't work out. Flash in. Phelps pushes himself through the smoke. He's able to take him down with ease. Bombs in the hands of Bolts. It's waiting with Showtime and Henny. They want to hook toward the A side, but with that kill, they're actually going to be encouraged over toward B, and it is still the 3 remaining players from SK on this side of the map. Cillian being the most aggressive of which, and he's found Phelps. So now that should be the commitment back the other way. It's the only information they've got inside of the site.
Yeah, unfortunately for the CTs right now, they have done some decent damage and found a frag, but they've just left no one on the A side whatsoever. There's going to be a rotation towards that balcony area. He needs to do some serious work with this pistol here. Does spot the first player crossing to the side, but just doesn't really have the firepower to do anything about it. The A side has been overwhelmed, and at this point, the round is pretty much over. They have the choice now to save the AK and the body armor they actually have already. I think that's probably going to be the best play in this instance. I don't think they have any justification to even try and take over that side. So saving these weapons, especially that AK, we said it yesterday, time and time again, especially on a map like Cobble. If you have 1 AK, an AWP especially, but if you have 1 AK saved, it means you can open things up. There's certain opportunities towards the upper platform, for example, those new steps. Go for a face, and you can get the first kill. It can open the window and allow you to pick up a couple more depending on where you reposition yourself. So this will be interesting going to the next round. Immortals are aware of this as well, willing to sacrifice these SMGs, see if they can hunt down these remaining CT players.
And they won't overcommit to it. There's no need giving away weapons in this. Likewise, SK, they're trying to save what they've got left. This particular Glaive's AK, that's the desperate one to hold, as Bolts does find Freeze. MAC-10, a little bit more money for him, but they will save the AK onto Glaive. However, it's round 3, and that means money's tight, so they won't be able to force much up around this if they want to have a solid buy going into the next round. Freeze is in a good position as well, money-wise, right now at 34.50, with 3 rounds going to be coming in for them. 2,900. He'll be able to get the AWP out in the first gun round right away for SK.
Yeah, for sure. And this is all up to the AK-47 now. Let's see whether Glaive can do anything with this. He actually be towards the drop-down room. Expressly goes down first, but there it is. The first headshot takes down Lucas, and he's actually by himself as well, and it's a double kill. Glaive doing some serious work now, and actually gives him an opportunity. They should be able to pick up a couple of weapons here. Cillian does drop in the process, but they have got 2 AKs now.
Big win from Bolts as he pushes through and finds Valdi, because That's the rotation. If they had taken down Bolts on that, they could have got back to the A site in time, and Bolts, despite falling to Glaive, will have finally taken him down from the grave with the nade. It's all on Amadi. That AK is in the doorway. He can elect to try and grab this again. They're going to be able to buy in the next round regardless, so it might be worth it with him picking up this AK bomb, just going down to at least investigate what's going on inside of the site, give himself a sort of a 10-second window to see if he can find an opening into the round. After that, no kid, he's going to have to fade away from this and just strengthen their utility in the next one. So I don't imagine he's going to go much beyond this doorway. See if he can find the pick. If not, out of here.
Yeah, obviously hasn't got a kit or any grenades or anything. Time ticking away. Want to see if he can find one more kill, but you're absolutely right here. Save the AK, boost the buy going to the next one. He can distribute the wealth out. He could possibly drop an M4 if required, but unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. I feel like this getting out of that scenario would have been the best call. Even taking one more AK down there isn't worth it compared to what he could have done. But there it is. SK Gaming do manage to pick up 3 kills. It's Glaive getting all 3, and that's some serious work with the AK-47, but not enough to win the round. 3-0 in favor of Immortals, and now we get into the first gun round here. You can see the CTs are struggling a little bit after that force buy. It's going to be the AWP, but it's a lack of utility. One incendiary, they have got smokes, but very little flashbangs and HEs. We'll see what they can do here. Normally, the terrorist side will go something very fast here after that force buy and trying to overwhelm. So they know the CTs are going to be rather spread out in terms of their buy.
Traditional position to play in this corner below the smoke. For Valdi, Showtime just going to wait to see if anyone pushes through. So same default again, this time for Immortals. 3 over toward the A side of the map. Henny down toward middle, and it's Phelps and Bolts, but they don't have much information on this B site. No one really getting aggressive. Bolts staying far back toward the archway, peeking down that long B corridor. They're waiting for a boost potentially at drop, but no one's trying to get information. No one's trying to push the CTs back just yet. Now with the rotation coming over, they'll start to try and get something rolling, and look how far Showtime and Henny have gone up. The issue with this is the bomb is still in the tunnels. Even if they try and wrap back around and cut off the rotations, they still have to elect to leave one player behind on this B take to get the bomb.
Well, they've got control of drop down, danger, middle, pretty much everything. The CTs really need to act here. You can see Glaive trying to hump some information on the upper platform with those steps, but the CTs are having a tough time right now in terms of positional control. They're going to have to sacrifice Frisk towards middle as well, because they don't really have much to work with. They've taken vision away with that smoke towards mid, and it looks like a B play coming in though. The CTs don't really have much to work with. Still a couple of smokes, so that's going to be decent. There it is, finally dropped, and now Molotov comes towards the stairs. How is Glaive going to react to this?
This is actually quite shifty. Plays the stairs originally and then shuffles up to the archway, the old position, which isn't checked this time, and Glaive's got perfect position. Bomb goes down. They did lose one inside of the site, but Glaive again with a triple kill. This time his teammate have weapons to work with him, and he may find another, just not able to find it as Henny comes around the corner. He falls into that stairwell, but he's caught on the drop. It's Henny, though, left alive, 1 versus 3. And they did go back to be all on getting that control in the drop room, but with 5 seconds, this round's over. AWP will survive. It'll be the 3-1 scenario. They'll still have money to work with after fairly efficient opening rounds, so they still have a chance to break SK down if they can pick up this one on the bounce, but at the same time, good win from SK in a convincing fashion from Glaive.
Yeah, the super sub at the moment, it seems. He's actually filling in for Astralis at the Major as well, and it seems he's still got a fantastic round there. 3 kills, like he said, great movement after getting Molotov out of the steps, repositioned himself, and uses his smoke perfectly as well. He knows they're coming through with a full grey screen at that point, and he locks it down. 3 kills and a much-needed round there for SK Gaming. That could have been a 5-0 if they were to drop that one, so that's huge. Obviously, Immortals, after some pretty clean opening rounds, they still have enough to buy here, especially AWP, but that's going to be the first kill going in favor of Frisk. He takes down Lucas, and he's actually towards middle as well. It's actually a faster play coming from Immortals, forcing their way into that A site.
Bolts does spot Freeze at the back of the A site. Doesn't land the shot, though. That allows him to come back and pick up 1. It's Showtime that finds a Cillian. That as well, an unfavorable trade, and Immortals, 2 players left, still have no access to the site, completely surrounded in this. And Valdi's even going to push through the B tunnels to make sure there's no opportunity with 1 minute and 10 seconds for them to fall back the other direction. Showtime can watch that vent all he likes, but 4 HP, bomb in hand, there's no play that he can really make. He's just hoping for someone to trip up and fall into his place on the other side of that.
This is all he really can do. Hope someone makes a mistake, and that was the opportunity there, but doesn't land the shot. Phelps now desperate for anything. Showtime watching that vent as well. Time ticking away. They need to work out what the next move is. They're surrounded by all angles, and this is very disciplined play from the CTs. Don't want to give anything away. At this point, though, Glaive, that UMP, does take down Showtime, and he gets a double as well. Another great round from him. And it's going to be the second round gathered for SK Gaming there. We'll have a look at the money for Immortals. I think they have been broken at this point. Yes, they certainly have. They can't really justify much more than PT50. They could force if they wanted to with Tech 9s and armor. Looks like they won't be going for that, though. It's going to be quite a simple round. We call this the throwaway round when you haven't really got anything to work with. Just some PT50s, a couple of flashbangs. If you can get a bomb down, that's fantastic. Obviously, the bomb getting planted gives the team extra $800 per player, so that's a definite help. But there's going to be a fast play toward that drop-down area. Double flashbang coming in, and the CT's going to be ready to lock it down. It's Modi with the first 2 frags, making a triple. And it's going to be round over at this point. Looking to get 1 kill, but actually get it.
Yeah, Voldy not showing the same poise perhaps this time around as he did yesterday, but either way, again, his teammate stepping up. Bolt's still 2 quick kills, does do some damage, but it's the ace as Modi closes out the remaining 2, rotating back over. A very swift anti-eco ace from him brings him up, believe it or not, to only 6 kills, so we had 1 before that. But either way, it's now 3-3. Money just barely enough to get out 5 AKs and a decent amount of utility. They do have 5 smokes, so they can go for the wall of smokes on B that we often talk about.
Yeah, I'd like to see them go more to a default play like we saw in that first gun round. That's when they seem to have so much control of the situation, and lucky they Glaive got the 3-man, but we'll see what SK bring to the table this round in terms of their setup. It's going to be a Cillian towards long A. Pretty aggressive position as well, Frizz, towards middle, watching that connector area. And Agatera is now smoked out, so Glaive once again aggressive, trying to get something through the smoke. Does land a few bullets. And it's going to be Phelps to strikes first, though, taking down Vald.
Vald going down, pulls Glaive away. This opens up drop a little bit because with that rotation, Modi's the only one to watch both sides of this. And it's Freeze with the AWP that they're playing at the top of middle, so even if they rotate over, it doesn't put a second rifle to help that position. Freeze has to play a more open position inside of the site, so there is some ground to be gained for Immortals off that single pick. Showtime and Henny just waiting to see if Cillian is going to push through. Good pick from Freeze, though. He takes it back into his own hands, and now he levels the situation as they find bolts boosted. More utility drained out as well, but let's see if Freeze can do the same thing Glaive did. Because they're starting to consider that stairwell position. SK is playing it, but in doing so, overlooking the archway and through the edge of the smoke. Phelps, he'll fall to Freeze. So another good pick. Lucas going to have to try and make something out of this drop right away because of Cillian. This is brilliant. He's pushed up. Even if they rotate back with this bomb, he's behind them. Yeah, so much information gathered for him. It's a ballsy play to get in this sort of position, but now he's got it. He's not even going to be going in and like risking being dropped by a lurking terrorist player there, but they are going to take over the drop-down room, and it's up to Frizz. He's still aggressive on that upper platform area, and he coming out of drop-down as well. He could find a kill on the left here, but he's not going to be checking this angle. But looks like it is Glaive stepping up once again. Can't find more than one, and now is an opportunity for the Brazilians, but Modi answers back. 2 versus 1. It's up to Showtime. They're trying to finish things off, but 10 seconds and no bomb. I don't really think he's going to be able to pull this one off, and the final kill goes in the favor of Modi. He picks up 2, and it's another round for SK Gaming. That's actually 4 in a row right now. Looking very good on the CT side. And 4 in a row in comparison to the T side of Immortals that you said is so strong, and I completely agree with you. So this is a great start for SK to respond after losing the pistol. And doing so without Valdi's contributions today. He still sits on 0 kills right now. What a tournament he's had, though. First international event. Exactly. And I've been very, very impressed indeed. He seems like he's been the perfect replacement for Magisboy in this tournament. Been very impressive, I have to say. But here goes the aggressive play from Messina. I think he did spot a couple of players there. This is the right move to make, though. It's not worth the risk of dying by himself. Gets the information, falls back. Frizz picks up the first AWP kill once again. He's having a very good game so far. And this looks like a very easy round for SK Gaming. And we'll be getting 5 in a row here. The lack of utility for Immortals, even though the tech lines can be very powerful, you need to be locking off some sort of choke point here to have a chance to actually utilize them correctly. Freeze goes so passive without any information at the bottom of A, despite finding that first pick. They know now that they're onto the pistols, so he can't overcommit, doesn't want to face and lose the weapon, just keep the distance in their favor. They'll be more passive on the drop room as well, but it's Glaive that's going to be holding there. Modi's going to play at the chicken coop, hold the angle as well. So again, just playing the distance, playing the range. With this setup, these crossfires established on B, good Molotov, that'll buy more space as well, forces Showtime and Bolts to step back. It'll put them down to about 40 seconds when they do finally try and enter on this, at least down into drop now, but rotation's coming around. They catch Valdi off, and that's due to Glaive rotating over to the backside of the window. It leaves Valdi in the open, so a bit of a miscommunication. Back down to the 4-on-4 situation. Glaive, though, isn't going to allow them to get any further than that. Henny down, they look at his direction, and that's when Modi strikes. Bomb dropped on the site, and it's just left to Lucas. Not really much he can do here, or is there? Apparently there is. He gets 2 kills with the Tech 9. There still is a potential here. This Tech 9, especially in the close range encounters around this fountain, can be deadly. Time ticking away, picks up an M4 as well. Let's see whether he can step up with this. And do they know that he has that M4? They would have known that Modi went down roughly in that position, but have they figured out that's exactly where it was? Because now, with those shots fired, they will, but it could have caught them off. Freeze hits it, closes it. Lucas makes it closer than it should have been, but 5-3. SK gets another round. Freeze dominating with that op in a lot of ways. He hasn't gone down really since they picked that up. He's up to 7-4 total. He's not leading the way, but he's definitely had his impact in most rounds. Again, rotating there, he finds another kill. He opens it up at the bottom of mid, and they've been playing him in that position at the top of connector where he can get to the B site quicker.
Yeah, a little bit of a communication issue there for Vods. He gets shot on the back from drop down. I'm sure there was a little bit of discussion about what happened there, but here we go, then another gun round. It's 5 in a row for SK Gaming, and Henny back on the AWP. Let's see whether he can actually open this up and get the first pick here. He's waiting towards the top middle, seeing if there is any aggression coming in from the CTs, but it's a similar setup as before. I think we have got a boost coming in towards middle. That's a Cillian. This position is great to check in. About once or twice a half, it can get you one frag as long as you're being covered from long A, and then you can fall back quite easily.
Yeah, it's good communication between Cillian and Freeze right now. They're playing their positions entirely in tandem with each other. So Cillian playing out toward A long so Freeze can peek middle. As soon as Cillian wants to get boosted, Freeze changes it up to put him in that position. They can cover both angles off, and he can make sure that he watches the corner at long to give Cillian the information. So good communication. Safe default though for Immortals. They're going to go down drop this time. 2 over toward the A. Look for a wrap strategy, and both Madi getting a kill but going down, and both players still alive in that position does mean they can wrap back through toward Freeze. AWP up close, but he does hit the first shot. Won't find the second. Lucas finds it. Still has the bomb in his hand, and they've closed out on a Cillian, who is left in the open. This is exactly the strategy they intended to go for, with Showtime and Henny just waiting for the picks. But good pick from Volda finally to take down Henny before he crosses.
Well, here we go then, 2-on-2 situation. The bomb looking like it should be planted any second. There it is. Now the retake has to come in. Glaive coming from the middle, and then we've got Vods finally arriving in this game. That's the second frag of the round. It's all up to Lucas. He's on the A site, hoping to take this down one by one. Doesn't want to face 2 CDs at the same time. There's the first kill. Can he find the second?
Well, he's got the time in his favor. He can play this out. He's going to try and just wait in an angle that it limits the options from the CT player. Right now, Glaive and his ability to find him and wastes more time. So Lucas, smart to do this. Gets up though and he gives it away. He didn't need to peek on that. He tries to catch Glaive off guard, and it's going to be the defuse for SK on the back of this. So once again, Glaive winning these important duels. And a great game he's having.
At that point, his options were very limited, right? Like, he knew the CT would be checking every single angle. There was only one place left to check. Try and get the drop in it before he gets the fake defuse in, and then that's what he went for. It didn't really work in his favor, and it's SK Gaming really arriving on the CT side right now. That's actually a really good approach from Immortals. They go for that default at the start, like you said, taking the vision away from the CTs, getting control of danger and long A, and splitting from drop down and the connector area as well. It was great until they actually got the bomb down, and then the retake just didn't work out in their favor. It's going to be 6-3, another buy. I think, of course, a maximum loss bonus this stage with a bomb fund as well. Tons of cash available. We'll see what they bring to the next round. Bolt's actually getting pretty fast on the upper platform. No CT presence this time, so he has got control and has an opportunity to get a pick.
The amount of smoke there as well. It does give Bolts a bit of a gap to go for, but Peach Baldi is down below this. They may not find him in this position. He's going to try and work through the stairs late. Bolts, inkling that he's there, can't find the angle. Volda's going to get one. He's out of ammo. Bolts, he should have saved his team. An awkward pistol exchange. He will get him down, but that lasted far longer than it should have. It does still favor Immortals, though. Make a 2-man up. As Madi flashed off, can't re-peek out toward that platform position, and Showtime late is going to take over drop. They'll pinch onto him, but Madi still able to find at least 1 kill. Gives the Cillian a bit better of a chance in this situation. No cross yet from the bomb. It has just made it in behind the statue, so it can advance and try and get planted, but Cillian still has work to do. Sprays in despite the flash, holds the angle. Showtime down. Tagged up through the edge of the rock. That nade not quite going to make it, but Lucas gets him trying to avoid it.
Immortals, after winning the pistol down to 3-0, finally get round number 4 on the board there. It's more default round what we're used to, seeing the faster B plays there. This time there was no CD presence towards that stairs area. Locked out, it's Vald who tries to do what he can here. Like you said, a very awkward exchange here. Both players whipping out the default pistols. Bolts coming out on top there, and they managed to pick up their first gun round here. CT's actually affected a lot heavier than I thought. They're going to have an AWP, a UMP, 2 players on pistol. So this round could be very important for them. They're able to pick it up, especially with Fritz on their AWP. That's going to be the linchpin here. If he can find something, they definitely still have a chance. That's all you need on Cobble CT side is 1 op just to find that first pick, and it opens up a lot of opportunities there.
Exact wrong time to unscope. He had it dead on, but timing is everything. It allows Lucas not only to take down Veld, but overwhelm Freeze as they have both sides occupied. Lucas going to catch Glaive. All too easy. Madi's trying to bait this out, though. They've checked this, but not fully. It's a spray through. He's able to deny the bomb plant. Lots of time to make up for that, though, and Cillian's already headed for the hills.
You can see how the game's kind of slightly developed from out of the platform area. Before, we had the steps there. It was just that one smoke in front of the broken wall. Now it's a slight variation. We have 2 smokes now. It goes towards that steps area. That takes away any visional risk on a CT taking you out from there, and then they smoke to the default area as well. They still have the same amount of vision to pick and try and work the bomb side. That's exactly what happened there. It's Bolt opening things up. And Lucas and Phelps to shut it down. It's going to be round number 5 achieved, and that's going to break the CTs for sure. That was a force buy. And like I said, they really needed Fritz to go a little bit more aggressive, maybe towards the middle, get the first pick. He was sitting back on the bomb side there. He's got overwhelmed by the amount of terrorists and flashbangs that were coming over the top. Just going to be sitting now in towards T-spawn with the 5-7, hoping to pick up a weapon here. He's obviously got head armor as well, and incendiary, some valuable equipment and defuse kits. So not a problem. He just saves that. Definitely boosts his chances of making something happen next round, but you would assume this would be a full eco now coming in for the CTs. They have about 2k average available.
Yeah, and Asilian at least able to keep that kit up for any last-minute heroics. The dream, Henry. The 1v5 ninja.
It's certainly a dream. We'll see whether it becomes Immortals' nightmare here. Henny back on the AWP. They're going to be aware of the situation as well. They saw the ropey buy coming in from the Danes last round, so they'll be taking things a little bit slower here. I say that though, Phelps is very keen on the upper platform area. He wants to work that first bit. He's by himself as well. He needs to be very careful there. If someone gets a drop on him, that Molotov giving him a little bit of time, and he takes a headshot though. This is dangerous. Luckily though, the blind spray works in his favor. He takes down Modi and gets away with his life as well. That was very hit or miss. There it is, finally Fritz does respond. I felt like they didn't really have to commit to that. They knew this is a very low buy from the CTs. Work together, make sure you're trading effectively. And it's working out for now as Henny gets the drop on Vods.
Yeah, second one for him. Can't escape from that position. Cillian's going to try and bring himself a little bit closer. Again, he's the one with armor and the 5-7, but not much really to be done here. They've slowed it down accordingly, Immortals. Still 2 players inside B. That's where the pressure and attention is going to be applied right now from the Brazilians, but got lots of time to work this out.
Yeah, this is disciplined play. They know they don't want to give anything away. Use the time they've got. Make sure they set up nicely. Take away every sort of risk factor and work together. It's going to be a Cillian waiting in that Sept area. He's got the 5-7 and armor, so he's a little bit dangerous here. Does some decent damage as well. Good hide though from the terrorist player, making sure his teammates can finish things off there. And there it is, showtime, headshot, and it's just going to be Glaive remaining now, USP in hand. He's hoping he can find that low HP player, but I don't really think that's going to work in his favor. Once again, Immortals being disciplined, they have time, don't need to give anything away here. But unfortunately, Henny does get dropped. They will be able to recover the AWP, but still, the target doesn't necessarily have to go down. But there it is, 6-6, we tie things up.
And there is a buy still in hand. Even with that AWP going down, it limits Bolts and Phelps. The rest still have a full round on their backs. It's SK that's still in trouble. They'll buy out into 5 M4s. No kits. I take that back. Modi's got one. Okay, so Modi bought one up. They've got smokes to work with to try and delay them, but the single kit might be an issue. Modi playing over on the B site. They're actually going to stack that up this time. Without Freeze on the AWP, they're actually going to bring him in a lot more aggressively and rely on Asilian alone to get the information onto A. Fast play as well this time from Immortals. Already out. Already around the corner with the wall of smoke. Phelps flashed out by his teammate. He's got to sit still and just wait. And that single gap, the Molotov, will force Volda back into it. So unfortunately, the one bit of vision that they did still have, it's going to fail them now. As Modi manages one. They're on the site already. They'll bomb surely to go down. Phelps flashed off, can't go for the peek above it, and as they push back through, they do actually manage to pick up 2 quick kills. Freeze find Phelps, he's the last alive. It all worked out on a flash over top of the tree, and pushing through the smoke in the alley worked out brilliantly for them.
That's a massive round for SK Gaming. Like you said, without Freeze on that AWP, they were limited, and it was a very fast execute from Immortals. You can see how hard that is to hold off for SK. They have to work very hard, hit all the shots that are coming in, those silence M4s. They managed to hold off the Brazilians. There's so many flashbangs and smokes being dropped at the same time, but Modi taking down 2 kills. Very influential in helping SK Gaming take the lead once again. They're going to have the all back towards Fritz, but like you said, Immortals with more than enough cash. They're going back to the default setup here. Showtime and Bolts working towards middle. I'd assume Showtime will smoke out the connector area, take away that vision from the CT. As you can see right now, they want to make sure Fritz can't see anything. They want to make that position redundant. This is a change of pace. Glaive going to be boosted up in towards drop down. This could be a little bit problematic though. That smoke needs to be very careful with this.
Yeah, Phelps' position. If he dares take a step forward, that barrel is going to give him away immediately. Henny extinguishing flames to keep himself alive in the corner. He's not Daenerys Stormborn, so he can't survive in there, but Glaive actually figures that out and just sprays in. I'm not sure we didn't see it from his side. The smoke would have been starting to dissolve at that point, but I think he just guessed on that.
Well, very good guess, I have to say. Educated guess, perhaps. And it's going to be the man advantage now. That's really good work from SK Gaming. Can fall back to the bomb sites now. They have that man advantage. The pressure is back on towards the terrorist side. Asilian's still a little bit aggressive though. He's got a smoke to sit behind in the middle. Just Showtime waiting for it. So potentially a little B split coming in here. Showtime coming in for the lurk after his teammates showed their presence towards the B side. That's a great flashbang coming from the CTs. It's Glaive to get his second of the round. And now it's a 5-on-3. And no real traction gained from Immortals here. They got no positional control of the map. They're all stuck in B halls and a lack of utility as well. There's 2 flashbangs. It's going to come down to this Henny AWP to see if he can find anything towards the B side, but the time is ticking away.
Henny, watch that position at Chicken Coop. Going to try and open this up, but again, they're playing this. This is almost the classic setup right now, the B side. So passive and relying on Modi just to be overlooked. And with this little time left, he may, but he goes out early. 19 seconds, that allows Showtime the refrag onto him. Luckily, Volda's gonna close that out. 13 seconds, bomb not planted. Volda with both kills to 6. SK, very, very good on the CT side against Immortals, who we definitely favored on this map. It's been strings of 3, so at least they were able to pick up some successive rounds on the Immortals side, but this time still, they're gonna have their last buy.
And it's not a great one. It's going to be Tech 9s and 1 AK on Showtime, so definitely affected. This is one of the few times, I have to say, we see Immortals not actually winning the Terrorist halves. Like I said before, they normally get double figures, sometimes 13 rounds on the T side pretty comfortably. It's SK Gaming, looks like they've done their homework. They're shutting them down left, right, and center after losing the pistol as well. Very impressive stuff, I have to say, considering they have 2 stand-ins here. But what can Immortals do with this Tech 9 buy? It's aggressive play from Valdi, trying to do anything with his M4, but he runs out of bullets here. This could be dangerous. There it is, the first kill comes in, and that's going to be signal to strike here from Immortals.
This time AWP. Ooh, quick snap over, finds Bolts on the B site, so a change of pace again, like you say. SK being able to find variations. 2, oh, that fails that Molotov, but the first one reached just far enough to leave Glaive out. That could have been problematic if they allowed him to stay alive, but Lucas still has this back to a 1 versus 2. M4 picked up, he's got armor, he's got the bomb. As soon as he figures out where their second player's gone, he's got the A site as well, but he's not 100% sure of that. Goes back, Asilian's going to find him. 9-6. SK without the pistol. And back a brilliant half.
They lost the pistol and then went down 3-0 and win the half 9-6. That's unheard of for Immortals. So we talked about it, Matt. They just woke up for a nap. Are they still waking up a little bit here? It doesn't seem, that's not the Immortals we're used to seeing. They're normally completely savage on this map, sticking together and hitting every single shot. And I didn't really see anyone have a massive impact here. Normally, Ateni and Vods can really open the map up, especially all the upper platform area. The AWP, for me, didn't really come to life at any point in the Terrorist side. It was quite quiet. And they're going to have their work cut out for them here, especially if SK win the pistol on the T side here. A lot of options. A lot of teams before would do one smoking towards the B side, potentially towards Connector or Chicken Coop, and just busting together a couple of flashbangs, splitting from drop down as well. Or you could do what Immortals did and send a 3-man unit in towards the long A area and split from drop down and Connector. We'll see what they decide to do. But those are the traditional options, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, even with the stairs there, we talk about the traditional play because it hasn't changed that much, and on a pistol round, it's really not going to affect much, especially where it's a rush from the T's. The argument that was brought up was that even if you want to get to that position as a CT and try and play the angle, the timing is still off. They can still beat you to that position. So I expect that no pistol rounds will really change from this at all. It is going to be a split with Freeze heading over toward A to get some information. The rest of them in toward the B tunnels. Madi leading the charge. And actually, they're going to ramp back. So they want to clear out the bottom and middle. Freeze, though, is going to go up against Showtime immediately. Already pushed him back slightly. Can he do more, and can he find further information? The issue right now, Freeze is going to overlook it, is that if he had baited him in and there was a second player on Bales, Freeze would overlook that entirely. They are back into the A site. Quick rotation from the CT. Smoke at the doorway, but they're going to try and push right through it. Phelps is going to be the first to do so. He's caught out, though. Cillian does finally fall, but Volda's got bolts, and it's going to come down to a 3 versus 1 as Lucas, the last alive, caught by Volda. Very convincing stuff from them. Very fast stuff by them on the A side as well, and that all banked on the first kill onto Showtime, even just pushing him back.
It's a really nice set piece there from SK Gaming. You can see they had an objective there from the start of the round. They had 2 smokes, a Molotov as well. 4 players going towards middle, 1 lurking in the drop-down area, like we saw from the Brazilians as well. But they're smoking off towards Connector and dropping a Molotov in the balcony area as well. That gives you so much freedom to get onto the side. As long as you're sticking as a unit, you're going to trade effectively with those Glocks running in there. And you managed to hit every single shot. And Immortals losing the pistol here. That's a massive loss. And SK Gaming hitting double figures on the Terrorist side. Very dangerous area now for Immortals to be in. They will force buy in the second round as Henny with that scout. And the last 4 players with upgraded pistols. Lucas on the designee. Let's see if they can do anything with this. SK Gaming looking to just control the map with the default so far. Sticking together as well, making sure that no one can get caught out by themselves. Asilian just watching drop down. Smokes off towards window as well. No real stack coming in for the CTs. They've actually got Showtime alone on the A side. He's close towards middle, just trying to hit any sort of footstep here, but I don't think SK Gaming will give anything away. True Danish style. Make sure they stick together, take the vision away from the CT. That smoke is almost perfect. We see a lot of teams do that, like Dignitas, for example. We'll see whether they can just dissect this map piece by piece, take over Danger and Long A, and they've got the lurk once again in the form of Modi. He's got a Mac 10 in the drop down round.
No damage done from the nades. 1 HP off bolts. Modi, Mac 10 tried to jump up around from the drop room and get the information 2 were there, but get the kills as well. Flash in, Showtime. Can't figure it out right, can't trace the crosshair with the correct movements despite being blinded up. Good shot though from Lucas as he comes back into Freeze. Leaves him on the site, low HP on a glaive, can't transfer it fast enough. does leave SK with a 1-man advantage. That's now added to as Asilian finds Lucas, leaves Henny to rotate over. He's got the scout. It's two low HP players. In fact, all three of them are within one shot. Doesn't find it that time. Bomb's gone down. He may just elect to get out. Three's a lot to find with a scout and no kit.
Yeah, might as well save the scout at this point. Obviously, he doesn't have the kits, and just the scout, and not really much to welcome. The bomb has been planted as well. It's Henny who's the AWP player as well. We saw it in the first half. It's Frizz. Normally, your AWP doesn't buy anything on that second round force buy. Just if this goes wrong, you still have the AWP available. That's not going to be the case here. They won't have the AWP on the first gun round, so saving that scout and seeing whether he can do anything with it. It's a tall order for sure, but a player like Henny can be very explosive, and the scouts in the right hands can be a very dangerous weapon indeed. We'll see what he can do next round. Doesn't look like he'll be hunted out just yet. He's hiding all the way in T-spawn. Three players surviving there for SK Gaming. Saving an AK as well. Glaive and Modi on those SMGs. Yeah, they're not working out for Immortals. They need to be very careful with their economy. The other four players can't really justify investing anything into this. It's going to come down to that scout to try and do something. It's very unlikely they'll win the round, but if you can find a couple of kills and maybe find some rifles, that would be beneficial for sure for Immortals. He's reflecting now a little bit. SK Gaming know they're going up against unarmored players with a very low buy as well, so the MAC-10s are a perfect weapon for this. Stick together, go towards drop down, farm some cash. It's $600 per kill with that weapon. And the same goes for the UMP as well. And the scout, if any, will be going towards the B sides.
Let's see if we can find an angle above the smoke from the statue. Two close players with him, Lucas and Showtime. Freeze has already cleared out the bottom of mid, including Danger. Vods holding the angle as Glaive did the same for him on the other side. They've worked in together, and the AK is able to find the distance shot onto Phelps. A little bit of an assist for Freeze, but either way the AK had it lined. That's going to give them access. The issue is they've got to go back for the bomb at some point in all of this, despite clearing out the A side so quickly. And Showtime, he's going to walk directly into Madi. He's now going to commit to running in. They're just going to leave the bomb and try and swarm the remaining CT players. Final Glaive's going to give the attention to it, but well shot from Asilian.
Yeah.
His bolt says, crap. A rat in a cage, and he'll be found just as quick as that. 12-6 SK. 3 straight rounds, so their turn to get the pistol and the ensuing, but we'll see if Immortals can find their response immediately onto this gun round. They, on this approach, do also, much like Freeze in the first gun round of the first half, get an AWP up right away. And the interesting thing is Freeze is going to stay in the MAC-10 himself, so he won't have one to combat it.
Well, this is a little bit of a bonus round. They're trying to keep things fast and loose at this point. MAC-10 SMGs across the board, really. And the 3 AKs. It's going to be a little fast push into the B side. Smoke comes in, and there's a boost on the CT's end towards the drop down room. They're aware this might be a possibility. And this is a big round. If SK Gaming can find this, it's definitely going to be an eco for the CT's. First kill comes in, it's Modi to strike first. Lucas answers back, but it's sitting with that UMP, making things really work. But there it is, the backstab from Vods. He was boosted into that drop down area. Manages to equalize things on a 3-on-3. Bomb to be planted.
Smokes does serve well to at least get the bomb down and obstruct vision enough for Volda to transfer over, but Freeze isn't exactly sure where Bolts has gone, so he's gonna have to play the arch. It doesn't give Volda the information he needs to get to a safer position, so
no kits.
He's gonna sit on the site, and yeah, good point, no kits. Bomb ticking for about 10 seconds. Henny gonna be held out by the Molotov as well. That's gonna make things even harder. Showtime already committing. No, he'll find Volda in the open, but the kill goes the other way as the AK heavily outweighs that of the damage dealt by the Famas. Freeze, good timing, catches Henny off. No AWP saved, and Bolts is just gonna get away with his gun, but more crucially, again, that AWP going down. Freeze, not only did he save onto the MAC-10, he gets an AWP for free. He's already at 5850. They've got 11K on Asilian. They've got 2 rounds easily in hand right now. That's why we call it the bonus round. If it does work out for you, call it.
Some call it the Jaden round, I have to say. I'm still skeptical about that name, but it might come up. It might catch on, you never know. If you do win these rounds, it puts you in such a strong position. Not only do you get a ton of cash here, you completely lock down the economy of the CTs. Look at their buy now. They saved the Famas, but they don't really have much else to work with whatsoever. It's going to be another round going in favor of SK Gaming, getting in touching distance now of map points here on Cobble. And I didn't think I'd be saying that. I thought this was a foregone conclusion. The Brazilians would pick up Cobble, and then things would get interesting in map 2 and 3. But you have to say, SK Gaming, this tournament, they've looked very strong, considering they have 2 stand-ins match. Against Astralis, they went up 7-0. They were unlucky to lose that game, but this is another heavy hitter in the tournament. Immortals, and they're completely decimating them right now.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, coming into this, Immortals as well have been struggling, so it's just the perfect storm for SK in that sense and how well they've been playing. Phelps going to get caught. Volda, again, leading the charge, leaves Glaives to walk up from danger in a very awkward and open position for Henny to be in. His vision wasn't fully gone, Glaives, so Volda gets the kill, but either way, 2 players were ready and waiting. Basically fell under the bayonet of Glave's gun, but it's going to be showtime to cover the cross. USP just to do it, and Bombs being slow and passive. SK are being disciplined about this. They don't want to walk into a potential stack on either site, so 54 seconds. They can slow the pace considerably. Inevitably, they will find this A site open.
Well, not really much the CD can do. You can see they're turtling towards that B side, just hoping the terrorists decide to commit there, but that's not going to be the case whatsoever. They've got full control of long A. Frisk has given them the call. They can actually get towards danger and middle as well. They've got smokes available, a ton of utility, in fact, just to lock out the CTs of this round. They're not going to have any chance to retake here, so they're probably feeling right now it's not going to be a B-sided attack. Bomb will be planted round over. It's going to be 14-6 here. And the money, having a look at next round, they're going to be a maximum loss bonus, so they will have a decent buy the CTs, and they can get the AWP if they decide to do so, but like I said before, Henny's hardly had massive impact so far. Especially on the T side, we'll see what he can do going forward. It's going to take a huge string of rounds here from Immortals. Can't really afford to drop much more. And it's a clean sweep for SK Gaming. The money just swelling for them right now. It's going to be a zillion, 10K in the bank before this round's even over. So there's so much money going to be available going forward.
And so close to the finish line as well. Pressure definitely on Immortals. Will protect Bolts as best they can. With the full, as you say, lost round bonus, so 3,400, the highest amount of money right now saved up. Lucas, 29. He can get an AWP over to Henny. He's got one himself, but will limit his utilities.
I'm really impressed with SK's approach. They're getting another kill as well there towards the end. I'm really impressed with their approach in terms of these anti-ecos. We saw at Immortals, they were a little bit ropey and they were giving a few too many kills away. That's another clean sweep for SK. They want to make sure they do this very efficiently. But here we go then. A double AWP setup on the CT side of Cobble, something I'm not a fan of at all. I feel like it limits you in terms of the potential of the A executes and B executes, especially with those smokes. It's very difficult to retake bomb sites, and it can be really difficult to actually get back into rounds. But if you can find opening picks and be aggressive, certainly can work out for you. It's going to be Henny on that upper platform area, trying to use these new steps in his favor. It's aggressive, but vision limited by the smoke grenades.
Yeah, smart smoke out early. A site, just to mention it, they've boosted up Lucas in the corner, which means the second AWP actually has to watch the corner at long rather than down into middle because they can't leave the back exposed from Lucas. So crossfire set doesn't lend itself to an early rotation, though. Again, Lucas is sitting duck in that position without any sense of support, so it's going to be a full 3-2 split from this defensive side, and he's waiting for that smoke to dissolve on top of that B platform right now, Henny. He's just holding the angle, and Madi's got no real escape from this aside from a flash out or a smoke toward the backside of that platform.
They have got control of drop down with the looks, I think, the terrace here, but Modi gets the kill somehow. You said he didn't have many options, but that's certainly one. Rips the head off Henny, and now it's Spritz to find the second kill as well. This is going from bad to worse for the CTs. Now in a 5-on-3, but the problem is the terrorists have so much time, they don't need to fully commit here. Doesn't need to be any more confrontation until they're ready to do so. They still have a ton of utility available, and they're being very disciplined about this. It's up to the CTs to make the next move. Bolts with the AWP now, trying to see if he can find the next frag and give them a chance, and there it is, through the wall, takes down Vod, and makes things a little bit more promising here.
Madi again is going to win the duel. Phelps goes down behind the box. We didn't see that shot, but that angle was being held by the AWP, so he must have been absolutely incredible with the one tap on the peak. It's going to be Bolt flashed off, can't find the angle, tries to go for the preemptive strike. That doesn't pay dividends at all. No avail. Gets him off, and Lucas can fade away all he wants. Get a kill, sure, but it's going to go to match point, or rather, excuse me, map point, best of 3.
Indeed.
For SK, and that's, again, a huge win for them. This is a landslide. Immortals is going to have to wake up fast.
Absolutely. This is a map we thought they had hands down, but Lucas does manage to pick up an AWP, and the double up setup really doesn't work out for us. Modi very patient in the corner there, and he lapse of concentration perhaps. We didn't see how it went down, but great headshot and another kill of a round. Influential from Modi there, 2 kills from him, and Lucas now. I think the terrorists definitely can justify the hunt. They know potential AWP has been saved. He's going to be up in, I think it's the tower. It is. What do we call it? The Rapunzel Tower?
Rapunzel, Cinderella, Snow White, I don't know, one of those princesses that gets damsel in distress mode and falls asleep and doesn't wake up.
You're my princess.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Just in case you forgot, it's been a while.
Has been a while. Thanks for reminding me that I'm the female.
Well then, 15-6. Up against the ropes. He's going to take 9 rounds in a row just to force overtime here for the Brazilians. They have managed to save the AWP. There is a shotgun in the hands of Showtime. Can be a very effective weapon on Cobble, that's for sure, especially towards that broken wall area. And 3M4. They actually have got a decent amount of utility. Of course, it's still the maximum loss bonus, so money isn't being reset or anything like that. And this could be a pick for Henny. You can see on the X-ray there, it's heading towards middle. But it's a full default here from SK Gaming. They don't want to give anything when they start the round. They know Immortals potentially hunting for something at the side around, just to give them a little bit of a morale boost and get the early advantage. We can see one player that just shows him that shotgun towards long A. And if he misses that first shot, he's in a world of pain. There's not much of an escape plan there. As soon as you get spotted at that kind of angle, you'll be going down to the force of the AKs here, especially if you get backstabbed from danger as well. So no one to back him up, really.
First kill does go the way of Madi, so again, SK open things up solidly. Helps to fall, leaves the shotgun still on to Showtime, but Freeze, he's been hitting shots. This guy's, I think, very underrated in the AWP.
This is the best he's looked in a while, though. In the previous complexions of SK, he was very turbulent. He had some great games and some very quiet ones. But let's get back to this as Showtime does find a kill. Something to work with here. The Max 7 prevails in that danger area. 4 on 3 now. SK Gaming looking to close things out right here, right now. It's going to be Bolts on the upper platform area, but potential drop-down play here from the SK.
And Showtime's desperate to make a play to pull this back. He's going to go for the full rotation all the way out from A, get the information. That allows Lucas to rotate over early. The Bolts managing only 1, make it 2. He does get caught out. Freeze the Flames, leave him in the open, angle held. They've got a 2-1 situation, but do they know that Showtime's gone for the flank? And look at the HP, this AK, it could wreak absolute havoc when they get their bomb goes down. He's going to know one's close to the site, but Freeze holds the angle. 16-6, and SK will take map 1.
Immortals just didn't rise to this game. They won the pistol on the T side, something we talk about them being one of the world's best terrorist Cobble team. They normally find double figures, just didn't really impress me whatsoever. Going out 3-0 and then only finding 6 total and then losing the pistol in the second half. SK Gaming, a very clinical game, I have to say. Very disciplined, especially when they had huge advantages. They weren't giving anything away. They knew every frag was so important. Allowed their money to swell. And a great team performance. We talked about it before in the warm-up for this, and I said they were working very well as a unit. The fundamentals are there. They're making sure they're winning the anti-ecos. They're not giving anything away. And that prevailed once again here. I've been very impressed with this SK lineup. I've actually got quite a lot of buttons on down here, haven't I? That's quite a powerful look.